If the dollar gets to the point where it tanks and all hell breaks loose and anarchy, then at least we have the skills in order to survive.
These men are learning how to survive on basic necessities and hunt for enemies. They're not part of the military, they're members of a militia.
I'm a firm believer that every household should be able to protect themselves.
Many militias, which are groups of people who draft their own armed force without government help, disbanded after negative attention from the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995.
The biggest concern is that we find ourselves looking at another Oklahoma City.
Mark Potok, who studies militias at the Southern Poverty Law Center, a nonprofit civil rights organization, says militias are on the rise and some are dangerous. Although these members we spent time with in Michigan say they're anything but that. Instead, they're learning how to survive and help others in case of a terrorist attack, natural disaster, or government collapse.
We're going through a period of enormous change.
Those changes include the first black president and a dismal economy.
I'm actually very concerned.
Daryl Johnson runs a company that tracks and studies militias nationwide. He not only warns about the rise of extremism, but also the lack of involvement from the Department of Homeland Security.
Where we're lacking is strategic analysis.
Johnson spent 6 years at DHS investigating extremism at home in the U.S. But 2 years ago, he says the agency nearly stopped monitoring non-Islamic domestic terrorism.
It got progressively worse and more constraining. It got to the point where myself and my analysts, we couldn't even do our jobs effectively.
Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano defends her department.
We maximize our opportunity to intercept and prevent violence.
While a handful of government agencies, including DHS, are charged with investigating domestic non-Islamic threats, Johnson says DHS is the only agency that doesn't need a criminal cause to investigate, giving them a unique position.
We were the guard on that watchtower looking at the threat out there.
Threats that not only come from groups, but also individuals.
When you have groups and individuals amassing those amounts of weaponry and explosives, that's a concern. It's a public safety concern. It's a terrorism concern.